There's a very specific time printed on millions of seniors' nights, and that time is 3 in the morning, not 2, not 4, 3. And if it keeps happening to you, you've probably already asked your doctor about it and been told something like, that's just part of aging. Or you've searched for it online and found the same 5 tips recycled over and over again. But today, I want to go somewhere different with this conversation. Because after working with seniors for years, I can tell you with confidence, waking up at 3 a.m. is rarely random. It is not meaningless. And in many cases, the real reason has nothing to do with what most people assume. In fact, one of the 7 things I'm going to share with you today, the one I saved for last, involves something that happens inside your body every single night that almost nobody talks about. Something invisible, something that rarely comes up in a standard doctor's visit. And when you hear it, I think it is going to completely change the way you think about your sleep. So stay with me through the full video, because if you jump off early, you will miss the piece that may matter most. Now, before we dive in, I want you to do something right now. Think about what it feels like when you wake up at that hour. Is it a sudden jolt? Is it heat in your chest? A wave of anxiety for no reason? Or do you just open your eyes completely alert as if someone flipped a switch? Remember that feeling, because by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly what your body was trying to tell you. My name is Dr. Franklin, and this channel is built on one belief: that seniors deserve real, clear, honest information about what is happening inside their bodies. Not vague reassurances, not complicated jargon, just the truth explained in a way that actually helps. Today, we are going to go deep on one of the most common complaints I hear from adults over 60. Waking up at the same time every night, usually somewhere between 2 and 4 in the morning. Here is what we are covering: 7 specific reasons your body keeps pulling you out of sleep at that hour. For each one, I will tell you what is happening physically, why it hits harder after 60, what it feels like from the inside, and most importantly, what you can actually do about it. Before we get into this, I would love to hear from you. Where are you watching from today? Drop your city or country in the comments below. I read every single one, and it really helps me see who is part of this community. Let us begin. Reason 7, your body's internal organ clock is sending you a signal. This one is something very few people in Western medicine talk about, and yet the science behind it is surprisingly solid. Your body does not run on one single clock. It runs on many clocks. Every major organ in your body has its own rhythm, its own peak hours of activity. Your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, your digestive system, they all follow a schedule. And according to both traditional medical wisdom and modern chronobiology research, the liver is most biochemically active between roughly 1 and 3 in the morning. That is when your liver works hardest on its overnight jobs, filtering the blood, processing metabolic byproducts, and breaking down substances you consume during the day. Now, here is where this becomes critical for seniors. As we age, the liver's efficiency declines. It processes things more slowly. And if your liver is working extra hard at night because it is dealing with a heavy evening meal, alcohol, certain medications, or a buildup of metabolic waste, it can create a subtle but real stress response inside your body. That stress response triggers a light hormonal shift. And that shift is sometimes just enough to pull you out of sleep at exactly that 2 to 3 a.m. window. Think of it this way. Imagine your body is a city, and your liver is the night shift sanitation crew. During the day, the trucks are parked, but at 1 a.m., they start rolling. The noise, the activity, the lights, they do not have to be loud to disturb the neighborhood. They just have to be present. What can you do? Finish your evening meal at least 3 hours before bed when possible. Keep it lighter, particularly in fat and protein, since both require significant liver processing. Avoid alcohol in the hours before sleep. Even a small amount adds to the liver's overnight workload. And if you are on multiple medications, it is worth asking your doctor whether any of them are processed by the liver, because the timing of those doses can matter more than most people realize. Reason 6, a mineral your brain needs at night is being depleted. This is one I find myself talking about constantly because it is so overlooked and yet affects such a large percentage of older adults. I am talking about magnesium. Magnesium is one of the most important minerals in the human body. It is involved in over 300 biochemical processes, and it plays a very specific role in sleep. It helps regulate the nervous system, supports the production of melatonin, and activates the receptors in your brain that promote deep restorative rest. Here is the problem. Studies consistently show that magnesium levels drop with age. Seniors absorb less of it from food, excrete more of it through the kidneys, and many common medications, including certain diuretics, antacids, and proton pump inhibitors, can deplete it further. When your magnesium levels are low, your nervous system becomes hyperreactive. Small stimuli that should not wake you up, a temperature shift, a dream, a subtle sound, can suddenly jolt you awake. And once you are up, your brain struggles to power back down because it is missing the very mineral that tells it to calm. A woman I worked with, 71 years old, incredibly sharp, had been waking up at 3 a.m. for the better part of 2 years. She assumed it was anxiety. She had tried everything. It was not until she had her magnesium levels checked that we realized they were on the low end of normal. After speaking with her doctor and beginning a magnesium glycinate supplement, she reported sleeping through the night within 3 weeks. Now, and I want to be clear here, you should not supplement with magnesium without first speaking to your doctor, especially if you have kidney concerns. But ask specifically about magnesium glycinate or magnesium thirtionate, as those forms tend to be gentler and better absorbed. And in terms of food sources, dark leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, almonds, and black beans are all excellent. But magnesium is only part of the picture, because the next reason involves something your body does every night as you sleep, something most people have never heard of. And it may be the most underappreciated cause of 3 a.m. waking in seniors. If you're still here with me and finding this helpful, take a moment to type 6 in the comments. It lets me know you're watching and getting value from this. Reason 5, your core body temperature is dropping too fast and your brain is panicking. Sleep and body temperature are more connected than almost anyone realizes. To fall asleep, your core body temperature needs to drop. That drop is actually what triggers your brain to transition into sleep mode. And throughout the night, your temperature continues to follow a precise pattern. A slow decline into the early morning hours, then a gradual rise that begins to prepare you for waking. In healthy younger adults, this temperature curve is smooth and predictable, but after 60, the system becomes less precise. 2 things can go wrong. First, the temperature drop can happen too quickly in the early part of the night. This sounds like it would help you sleep, but it actually disrupts sleep architecture and the way your sleep cycles are organized and makes the lighter stages of sleep in the second half of the night even more fragile. Second, the early morning temperature rise, the one that is supposed to help you wake up naturally around 6 or 7 a.m., can shift earlier. So instead of that rise starting at 500 a.m., it begins at 2:30 or 3, and when your core temperature starts climbing, your brain interprets that as a signal, time to wake up. This can be made dramatically worse by a bedroom that is too warm. Many seniors keep their bedrooms warmer than optimal, often because of concerns about feeling cold in the night. But a bedroom that is too warm actually fights against your body's natural overnight cooling process and can push you into lighter sleep right when you should be in your deepest rest. Here's an analogy I like. Think of your sleep as a slow cooking pot. The right temperature produces a perfect result. If the heat is too high, the cycle is disrupted. Things finish too early and spill over. The research consistently suggests a bedroom temperature between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit, roughly 18 to 20 degrees Celsius, is ideal for sleep in older adults. If that sounds cold, try it for 1 week with a warm blanket and light pajamas rather than a hot room. Many seniors are genuinely surprised by the difference. If what I'm sharing is making sense, if you are starting to see your sleep in a different way, please press the like button right now. It takes 1 second and it helps this video reach other seniors who are lying awake tonight with no idea why. And if you have not subscribed yet, do that too. I put these videos out because I genuinely believe this information saves lives. Now let us keep going because we are getting into the reasons most doctors never mention. Reason 4, your gut is talking to your brain and the conversation is happening at 3 a.m. This one surprises almost everyone, but the science on it is growing rapidly. You have probably heard of the gut-brain connection. Researchers now understand that your gut and your brain are in constant communication through a network called the gut-B-brain axis. This is a two-way information highway involving your vagus nerve, your immune system, and billions of nerve cells lining your digestive tract. What most people do not know is that this communication does not stop when you fall asleep. In fact, gut activity has its own circadian rhythm, and parts of it peak in the nighttime hours. When the gut microbiome, the community of bacteria living in your digestive tract, is out of balance, it can generate inflammatory signals that travel directly to the brain via that gut-brain highway. Research in the past decade has linked gut dysbiosis, which is an imbalance in gut bacteria, to disrupted sleep cycles, increased nighttime waking, and reduced time in deep sleep. And here is the connection to seniors specifically. The gut microbiome becomes less diverse with age. Antibiotic use, dietary changes, reduced physical activity, and certain medications, particularly acid reducers, all shift the composition of your gut bacteria in ways that can disrupt that nighttime gut-brain communication. The result, an increase in low-grade biological noise at night. Your brain is receiving slightly agitated signals from your gut during exactly the window 2 to 4 a.m. MI when your sleep is naturally lightest. Think of it as your gut sending a text message to your brain at 3 a.m. that says something is off. The message might not be urgent, but your brain in a lighter stage of sleep picks it up and wakes you up anyway. Practical steps here include eating more diverse fiber sources, different vegetables, legumes, and whole grains, which feed beneficial gut bacteria. Fermented foods like plain yogurt, kefir, or kimchi can help reintroduce beneficial strains. And avoiding large meals and high-sugar foods in the evening reduces the fermentation activity in your gut that peaks while you sleep. This is an area where even small dietary adjustments over several weeks can make a measurable difference. If you're still here with me and finding this helpful, take a moment to type 4 in the comments. It lets me know you're watching and getting value from this. Reason 3, a silent hormonal shift is happening that your doctor may have never connected to your sleep. I want to talk about your thyroid gland for a moment, and I want to talk about it in the context of something very specific, what it does at night. Your thyroid produces hormones that regulate your metabolism, your body's energy production and consumption, and like everything else, this system follows a circadian rhythm. Thyroid-stimulating hormone, or TSH, tends to peak in the late evening and early morning hours. This is your body's way of preparing for the metabolic demands of the coming day. In people with perfectly functioning thyroid systems, this peak is smooth and goes completely unnoticed. But millions of seniors have some degree of subclinical thyroid dysfunction. High, meaning their levels are technically within the normal range, but are not optimally balanced. And in those cases, that early morning TSH surge can become more pronounced. When thyroid hormone activity spikes at the wrong time, even subtly, it can raise your resting heart rate, increase your internal body temperature, and create a vague sense of agitation or alertness, all at 3 a.m. At the same time, adrenal hormones, particularly cortisol and adrenaline, interact closely with thyroid function. If your adrenal system has been chronically stressed, both systems can fall out of sync in a way that generates that wide-awake, heart-racing, mind-spinning feeling in the early morning hours. One man I want to tell you about, 68 years old, had been waking up every morning between 3 and 4 for over a year. His standard blood work always came back fine. But when he asked specifically for a fuller thyroid panel, including T3 and reverse T3, not just TSH, his doctor found a pattern consistent with subclinical thyroid dysregulation. After treatment adjustments, his early morning waking resolved almost entirely within 2 months. If you have been waking at 3 a.m., especially if it comes with a racing heart, inner heat, or a restless, anxious feeling you cannot explain, it is worth asking your doctor for a complete thyroid evaluation. Not just TSH, a full panel, because the standard test alone can miss important patterns in older adults. Before we begin, take a second and tell me your name and where you're tuning in from. I go through the comments and I genuinely want to know who I'm speaking to and supporting here. Reason 2, your medications may have a schedule conflict. You do not know about this one requires me to be direct with you because it is common, it is fixable, and it is almost never discussed. Many seniors take multiple medications, and those medications were prescribed for good reasons. But medication timing, specifically when you take each drug relative to your sleep cycle, can have a profound and completely unintended impact on when you wake up at night. Let me give you a few specific examples. Certain beta blockers, which are commonly prescribed for heart conditions and blood pressure, are known to suppress melatonin production. When taken in the evening, they can directly interfere with your brain's ability to stay in deep sleep through the early morning hours. Some antidepressants, particularly SSR, is taken in the morning, have their peak metabolic activity in the afternoon and evening hours, which can create a stimulating effect exactly when your brain should be winding down. Diuretics or water pills taken in the afternoon or evening do exactly what you would expect. They increase your urge to urinate in the exact window when you are supposed to be in your deepest sleep. And certain blood pressure medications can cause the blood pressure to dip too low in the early morning hours, triggering a compensatory stress response, a mini internal alarm that wakes you up around 3 a.m. Here is what I want you to do. Make a list of every medication you take, including the time of day you take it. Then sit with your doctor or pharmacist, ideally both, and ask one specific question. Could the timing of any of these medications be contributing to my early morning waking? Not whether the medication is right for you, just the timing. In many cases, a simple shift of a dose by a few hours can dramatically change how your nights go. No new prescriptions, no major changes, just timing. And yet, it is one of the first things that gets overlooked. Reason 1, something is happening in your bedroom that you cannot see, and it is quietly dismantling your sleep. This is the one I promised you at the beginning, the one that surprises almost everyone. And I want to take a few extra minutes here because it matters that much. We spend an enormous amount of time thinking about what we do before bed, what we eat, what we drink, how we wind down, and all of that matters, but almost nobody thinks about the bedroom environment itself during sleep. Specifically, what is happening in that room while you are lying in it. Let me start with light. Not the bright light of a television or a lamp. I am talking about something far subtler. The standby light on a television, the blue glow of a cable box, the green LED on a power strip, the numbers on a digital clock across the room. Research published in peer-reviewed sleep journals has found that even low-level ambient light in the bedroom, light that you would barely register as conscious awareness, can disrupt melatonin production and increase arousals from sleep in the later stages of the night. Your eyes, even closed, contain cells called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells. These cells detect light even when your eyelids are shut, and they signal your brain. At 300 a.m., when you are in the lightest stage of sleep, that signal can be enough to tip you from light sleep into full wakefulness. Now add to this sound, not loud sounds, subtle, irregular sounds. A refrigerator compressor cycling on and off, a neighbor's car in the distance, the house settling, a partner's breathing pattern shifting. Your brain in the second half of the night is in an extraordinarily sensitive state. It is processing. It is near the surface, and irregular low-level sounds during this window can catch it off guard and pull you fully awake. Here's how I want you to think about this. Imagine your sleeping brain is like a very light sleeper living in an apartment. During the day, noise, light, and activity do not bother you because you are busy, engaged, alert. But at 3 a.m., the quietest moment of the night, every drip, every hum, every flicker is amplified. Your bedroom should be as close as possible a sensory blank space. Dark, cool, quiet, and electronics minimized. The easiest starting point tonight, cover or turn off every LED and standby light in your bedroom. Put black electrical tape over the ones you cannot switch off. Move your phone to the other side of the room. Close the door if noise from the house is a factor. These are small changes, but remember your sleep is most fragile in the second half of the night. And fragile things need protection, not more exposure. Let me give you the complete picture before we close. Your body waking up at 3 a.m. is not random. It is not just aging, it is a signal. And today we identified 7 possible sources of that signal. 7. Your liver's peak activity hour is overwhelming its capacity, and dietary adjustments in the evening can reduce that burden. 6. Magnesium depletion is making your nervous system hyperreactive at night, and this is both testable and addressable with your doctor's guidance. 5. Your core body temperature regulation is shifting, and your bedroom environment may be making it worse. 4. Your gut and brain are in active nighttime communication, and an imbalanced microbiome may be sending disruptive signals during your lightest sleep. 3. A subtle thyroid or adrenal imbalance may be generating an internal hormonal alarm at the wrong time, and a full panel may reveal something a standard test missed. 2. The timing of your current medications may be creating sleep disruptions that are completely fixable without changing the medications themselves just when you take them. 1. Your bedroom environment, specifically ambient light, irregular sound, and electronics proximity, may be compromising the most fragile stage of your sleep every single night. In most cases, it is not one of these things alone. It is 2 or 3 working together, layered on top of each other. The good news is that identifying even 1 or 2 and addressing them can shift your sleep significantly. And none of what I described today requires expensive equipment. No surgery, no dramatic lifestyle overhaul, just awareness and the decision to apply it. I want to close with something personal. One of the most common things I hear from seniors who finally start sleeping through the night again is not just "I feel rested," it is something bigger than that. They say "I feel like myself again." Because sleep is not separate from your life. Sleep is the foundation that everything else is built on. Your memory, your mood, your balance, your immune system, your ability to engage with the people you love. When sleep improves, everything around it begins to improve with it. You are not too old to reclaim your nights. You are not too old to wake up feeling clear, rested, and ready. You have earned that. And I genuinely believe that for many of you watching right now, one of the 7 things we discussed today is the specific answer your body has been waiting for you to find. The information in this video is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Always consult with your physician or qualified healthcare provider before making changes to your diet, supplements, or medication timing. Tonight, choose one thing, just one. Cover the LED lights in your bedroom, or ask your doctor about your magnesium levels, or shift your evening meal a little earlier. Give it a week. Pay attention. If this video helped you understand something about your body that you did not know before, please share it with one person, a friend, a spouse, a sibling who is also losing sleep and does not know why. Sometimes the most important thing you can give someone is the right information at the right time. And if you want more clear, honest, practical health guidance for living well after 60, subscribe to Dr. Franklin Senior Health. I am here, and I will see you in the next